Bitfinex has made a name for themselves in both the budget and consumer world the last 5 years, and they're promising to cement their place in the industry with products such as these. What's up, everyone? It's now Stumbling Aussie from Oztox Hardware, and I want you guys to meet the $50 budget computer case with tempered glass, the Bitfinex Nova TG. Now, many computer case manufacturers have recently sacrificed form for function. Let's see if Bitfinex is guilty of this right after this message from our sponsor. If you're looking for some swifty music for your YouTube videos, your next feature film, or maybe just to jam out to, AudioBlocks has got you covered. AudioBlocks has one of the largest stock audio libraries with over 100,000 clips, loops, music, and sound effects. And all of these audio clips come with a royalty-free agreement, so you can get hit with a copyright claim. I'm partnering with AudioBlocks to give away 7 days so you can try it out yourself and get access to this massive stock audio library and royalty-free license for free. Just visit audioblocks.com/YouTube or click the link in the description below to start downloading and get 7 days of AudioBlocks for free. Other than the very obvious tempered glass, I first noticed the Nova's small size. Now, Bitfinex has labeled this as a midi tower, which is a nice medium between a mini tower and a mid tower case. Most consumers know Bitfinex for their small form factor cases, and I can see some of their fit as much form and functionality in as small of a space as possible influence here. Still, the Nova TG supports full-size ATX motherboards, so no worries if that's your preferred form factor. Externally, the case supports 2 USB 3.0 ports, a large power button with a very satisfying shallow click, a headphone and microphone jack, and a reset button. At the bottom, there's a removable nylon washable dust filter used for the power supply that slides right into place. The case is mostly comprised of a thin metal frame. Most of the frame does flex with some pressure, but it's nothing worth losing sleep over. An accented honeycomb metal strip runs along both sides of the case for a nice aesthetic. It could work as another cooling mechanism since the rest of the case does not have many airflow options. I'll get into that later, but that's just a wild guess. Now for the part that I'm sure drew a lot of you to this case initially, and that is the tempered glass side panel. Now, considering the price of the case and the features that it comes with, you would expect Bitfinex to cheap out somewhere, especially on the tempered glass side panel. And while they do cheap out on some aspects, it's not on the side panel. When they chose to build the glass panel, they chose to do it well. The tempered glass is a few millimeters thick but feels solid. My main PC uses the $100 Bitfinex Aurora case, and Bitfinex made both tempered glass solutions around the same thickness, so it's definitely not cheaply made. Bitfinex also claims that they coated the glass's edges with a noise reduction material. I can't vouch for that, but it's something that is worthy of testing. 4 screws hugged to rubber grommets securely hold the panel in place. While the case is prone to some smudging and collecting light dust, it fortunately does not scratch easily. That's pretty important considering that scratching case material is a very viable issue when assembling a computer, especially for new builders. Internally, Bitfinex coated the guts a nice, stylish black. It comes with a rear 120mm red LED fan and a single front 120mm intake fan, though the case officially supports 2 front ones. Now here is where Bitfinex cut corners. You do not have any options for any top-mounted fans or top-mounted radiators, so if you're interested in water cooling, this limits you to either a rear 120mm radiator with a fan or possibly a 240mm radiator in the front. Now, I highly doubt that the lack of top fan solutions will heavily affect thermals. Law of diminishing returns applies here to case fans, and there are several videos out there on the interwebs that show this phenomenon. So if Bitfinex were to cut corners, this would be the most appropriate place to do it, but it's still something that the buyer should be aware of if they're interested in water cooling especially. You have 300mm of space for a video card and 160mm for the CPU cooler. This will fit most video cards with the exception of most tri-fan video card solutions such as the Devil series from PowerColor. The 160mm threshold cuts it close for a few popular CPU coolers though, such as the Hyper 212 Evo, who has a final height of 159mm, giving the builder only a single millimeter of slack. That might be a bit too close for comfort for some customers. Lastly, you get 3 screwless slots for 3.5-inch storage devices and 3 similar slots for 2.5-inch storage devices. Bitfinex decided to add a bay for an external CD or DVD drive, which I suppose is a nice touch, although the dying art of CDs and DVDs makes it more of a waste of space than anything else. Now, building in the case is perfectly okay. I do not have experience installing a radiator to the case's rear simply because I don't have a water cooling solution on me, but I imagine that you would be okay if you have enough clearance, and you really should have enough clearance. Installing everything was as straightforward as usual, and I had plenty of space at the back and the front for cable management. The back panel has a nice bump that allows for extra clearance for your 24-pin cable, PCIe cable, and CPU power cables. Anyway, here is the final build. If you're interested in the specifications, I have them listed in the description below. Hint, hint. New video on the way. Alright everyone, now for some testing. Before I conclude this video, I decided to do a very basic thermals test just to see how the airflow is inside of the Nova TG. I recorded the temperature of the processor and the video card after a 15-minute AIDA64 Extreme test and after conducting a benchmark of GTA 5 at high settings, 1080p. I left the video card at 60% fan speed just so everything is constant across the board, and I recorded the packaged CPU temperature using a hardware monitor. So to answer the question that I posed at the start of this video, Bitfinex is not guilty of choosing form over function. I think they have a nice balance between the two. With all of that being said, I still think it's pretty interesting that Bitfinex decided to do this, because if you're in the market for a $50 computer case, you're probably not going to be purchasing higher end components, and that tempered glass solution is mostly to showcase your high-end gear. So it sounds a little bit counterintuitive, but it gives you the option anyway. Still, this case gets my recommendation. It's stylish, it's easy to work with, and minus the limited water cooling expandability, it has mostly everything that you will need from a case, including a DVD or CD drive if you so happen to want to use one. I want to hear what you guys think though. Is a tempered glass solution on a $50 case worth it? Should they have not cut the corners with the water cooling and fan expandability options and just stuck with a regular clear side panel? Or do you think that the tempered glass solution is the start of something new and a cool trend that could happen in the case industry? Let me know. But that's it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, then leave a like, and if you loved it, share and subscribe and all of that stuff, and have a lot of videos coming out in the near future.